here with Jay Tolisano, who is our preferred lender for the Metalios Group. And today we're just going to talk about, gosh, all the things that, happen with the mortgage process, try to educate you a little bit. There are some questions that people always have, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I would think that, one of the major questions that always comes up is, some people don't even know the difference, Jay, between like a commitment letter, a pre-approval.
Yes, absolutely.
And, clear to close.
Sure. So yeah, we can absolutely talk about that. First of all, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it. So in the marketplace, you can a customer can talk to a lender, and they can get a few different things. They can get a pre-qualification letter, which means no credit has been checked. Most realtors and sellers don't want to accept a pre-qualification letter.
Okay, let me interrupt you there. So let's talk about the pre-qual letter, because that's really important to someone like me, because I take out a buyer, they fall in love with the house, and then there's 3 other people that fall in love with the house, and they, I'm always like, before I take you out, let's get that pre-qualification letter. So how much time does that take for someone to get?
Well, the pre-qualification letter, because of the fact that credit is not checked, it can be done very quickly. However, quick doesn't also equate to the amount of success that they're going to have when they put the offer in. Because if the credit isn't checked, most agents on the sell side, or sellers themselves, really want to know that the customer's credit has been checked, which is really the pre-approval or our fast track credit approval process.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so if someone wants to have a stronger offer than the
Pre-approval. Yeah, the pre-approval or the fast track credit. So I'll tell you about those two. The pre-approval is when they do an application with us. They allow us to check their credit, and we verify their income and their assets.
So that's the pre-qualification?
Pre-approval.
Oh, pre-approval. Okay.
Pre-approval. And that's really the preferred letter that can accompany an offer.
So that's different than a pre-qualification?
Yep.
Oh, okay, now we're
So
getting
I would
it.
say you go from pre-qualification
to
pre-approval
pre-approval.
takes you to another notch. And then at Cross Country Mortgage, we have a process called your fast track credit approval.
Okay.
And that process takes the pre-approval, which is the credit and the verification of income and assets. We package your loan and send it to one of our in-house staff underwriters.
Okay.
And our underwriters will actually approve the loan and provide a credit commitment that is subject to, obviously, a home, a contract, and an appraisal, because the buyer hasn't found that yet.
Got it.
But if you can submit an offer to a seller with our fast track credit approval, which is an underwriting decision by an actual human underwriter, the seller can feel most confident, and I would say that is as close to a cash offer as you can get.
Wow. Okay, that's great. That's really valuable for a buyer.
Yeah.
So let's talk about like some pain points that you might have, or that a buyer might have. What do you think is important for a buyer to do when they're thinking about this whole process?
Well, first of all, getting started as early as possible is the most important thing that a buyer can do. I always find that when a customer comes to me and says, "Oh, I'm shopping for a home, and I think we're going to buy in the next 3 to 6 months." Well, when we get them ready and they know what they can spend and they know what their monthly payments are, all of a sudden 3 to 6 months becomes 1 to 3 months. All of a sudden they know what they're armed with, and the deal comes together really quickly.
Okay.
Now, if someone starts going out shopping with a realtor for a home and they haven't done their pre-approval, or they haven't done their fast track credit approval, and they find a property, then they start to scramble. And now it's how quickly can we get the letter done, which causes a lot of pain points.
Right.
The sooner they can get started, the sooner they can gather the documentation that we need, the easier it will be. This process is really teamwork. Without teamwork, this process is difficult.
So the client really has to work with you to get all their paperwork in, and
Correct.
So it's kind of like a kid like applying for college and waiting to the last second and saying, "Oh my God, I have to get all these recommendations," and
Correct. Yes, it becomes a scramble, and then by the way, it becomes not only a scramble for the buyer, but then you as the representing agent all of a sudden are in a pinch because the seller's agent wants the letter.
Oh, and they might lose the house.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. And then from our aspect, then now we're scrambling to kind of keep up and catch up. So the earlier they can get involved, the more clear they can be with their communication and providing documentation, the less pain points they'll have, for sure.
Got it. Okay. So for anyone looking to buy a house, the first thing to do is to get a pre-approval.
Or our fast track credit approval.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, both are complimentary services, and the pre-approval can happen in 24 hours or less. And the fast track credit approval can really be 2 to 3 days. So you can actually have a full commitment from an underwriter in 2 to 3 days.
Great. Okay. So talk to Jay first, then go shopping with me.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's always the preference.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Jay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.